And whenever I traveled and I would be somewhere for more than a few days, I brought my parents. They're great to travel with, wonderful. And I live in New York, they live in Toronto, we don't get to spend time together, so I thought it would be nice. So I got an apartment, we all lived together, and I brought them to my classes, and my students learned how to do interviewing. Everybody, all my students learned how to do interviewing on my parents. So they were very cooperative, very patient. By that time, in 1995, my father had been painting for 5 years. So now, and I had said to him, and my mother used to always invite people to the house, serve tea and cookies, and encourage my father to go around the house and tell the stories of all the paintings. And I said, you know, this is really quite arduous. I'm going to hire a professional photographer. He's going to make slides. He's going to make prints. And you can put the slides in a tray and go anywhere you like, and you show the slides and tell your stories. And okay, so we did that, and I said he's going to make prints. And he had a little photo album, like just a little tiny one with pages, and he filled it up with the photographs, and he took it with him this time to Opatów. And this time, he ran around the town buttonholing people and saying, you see, this synagogue was there, and the mikveh was there, and the butcher was there, and this was there. Does anybody remember? And one young man took an interest and said, you know what, my grandmother, she was alive before the war. Come to our place, I'll call her. And they lived in a place much like he did, like 2 rooms, basically, tiny, right on the market square. Got his grandmother to come, and they brought out the soft drinks and pretzels, and the whole family turned up, and this young guy followed my father's sort of whatever he was doing, his paintings, his shows, his this, that, and the other. And he convinced the county chief that they should exhibit my father's paintings in Opatów, in the powiat, in the county house. And I said, well, honestly, you know, they're original paintings. You don't have a gallery. You don't have a museum. We can't exhibit original paintings. But I said, we're going to be at the Krakow Festival. We'll come and visit Opatów. And how about I'll make a PowerPoint for my father, and I'll put the slide. I'll project the images, and he'll tell the stories. They said, okay. And the church had put posters up all around the town. It had announced it at the mass. And it was a full house. It was grandparents with their children, and it was an absolutely full house with standing room only and people standing in the hall. And my father, you know, told all his stories in Polish, and, you know, witam. And then he started out and just told his stories in Polish, and they gave him a standing ovation. And they gifts, you know, it was at the 1000th anniversary of the church. I mean, there's a beautiful album of the church from the 1000th anniversary, and then they had a beautiful dinner reception in a kind of a restaurant, I would say beer garden restaurant, very nice, very, very nice, very lovely. And then I realized that one of their most proud achievements was that the person in charge of the geological survey created a geological survey museum. Essentially, it's all the equipment you can't use anymore. I give a look and I see they have an enormous printer because they print maps. They have a huge printer. I said, you know what we're going to do? I have, and I can make huge TIFFs that you could print a bulletin board. You could print the whole wall with these TIFFs, you know, 150 meg TIFFs, huge TIFFs. You've got a printer. And you can you can make high quality prints big. I said, how about I will prepare for you however many images you want. I'll organize them. I'll write you all the captions. I'll write all the text panels. And my museum in Warsaw will help you with fonts, with translation, with editing, right kind of paper, with the printing, etc. And you'll make your own exhibition. And you can keep the prints and you can do whatever you want with them afterwards. So they said, okay. So we did. We did. And the museum here helped, and we went there a couple of times, and people from here went there. They came here. And then they had a big opening with a ribbon cutting and with a program with local musicians playing Jewish music, and the mayor presented my father with a facsimile of his mother's marriage certificate from the municipal archive, and they made speeches, and there was a formal ribbon cutting with the county chief and my father, and anyway, one of the people from our museum went earlier to the exhibition. She said, Barbara, I just want to warn you. She said, it's not the way we would do an exhibition. She said, it's more like a Polish wedding. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, it's potted palms, and it's blue and white organza, and it's, I said, well, you know what? This is their exhibition, and it's it is a kind of a vernacular style of installation, which is a way of showing value and respect, and I think it's fine. I think it's just fine. And the pot of palms, it was so 19th century, so it was so pre-war. I thought it was, and actually I thought it was great. I thought it was great. So very, very nice, and my father gave a tour, and people asked him questions, and they gave him flowers, and it was really, really fabulous.